Hey folks, JD here, and today we're back out with the Eachine E511S. This is the DJI Mavic Air clone, and in my opinion it's the only one that's actually been able to stand up to any sort of rigorous testing. It's a very, very good clone. If you like your clone drones, I particularly don't. I think it's a bit lazy on the design, but at the same time their design is nice because you're taken after a proper manufacturer in my eyes. Then this is a very good quad to go for. It's got good features, good flight. So far it hasn't done me wrong at all, so I thought today, as part of this revisit week where we're going over and looking at the past quadcopters for the past month and a half, I thought we'd go back and have a little look at this. Now if you haven't seen the original video unboxing and all the tests I've done with this particular quad, you'll find them in the description. Okay, so now the calibration's all done. I'm just waiting now to get more satellites. So far we've got 6 satellites and just need a couple more in order to be able to take off. So I'm just going to have a little walk around while that is happening. Shouldn't be too much longer at all, only a couple of seconds hopefully. It got up to 6 very quickly, even though 6 is the minimum. I'm just going to give it another second or two just in case. Usually as I'm flying around it'll accumulate as well. There we are. I think that's, there we are. Well, that is what it is, so let's take her up. Now one thing you are going to hear from this is that right away, as soon as you take off, you will notice this quad is brushed, and you will hear that in these motors. They are very loud, screamingly loud, and I found that on the first flight test. It's not a deal breaker, but it's just, you know, at the end of the day it's just loud, isn't it? That's it. I mean, you have a lot of people that say, oh, brushed, terrible, leave them where they are. I've only ever replaced half a dozen brushed motors on my brushed quads, but don't forget I've had those for 4 years, and the only ones that I have replaced on would be, I've replaced one Tello motor, but I have flown that quad more than anything else. To give you an idea, about 38 flights, 40 flights. I've replaced 2 motors or 3 motors on my Eachine QX65. That there's a mini 65mm quad racer, and those motors spin at 50 to 60,000 RPM, so it gives you some sort of an idea. On these particular sort of camera clone drones, I've never replaced a single motor, but going back to this quad, what I like about this is it's just so easy and so nice to fly. It's very basic, it's a beginner's quad. Okay, the camera isn't great, you're not going to get a Mavic Air camera, don't get me wrong at all, the lens is terrible, but at the same time you do get okay footage, some of the better footage I think than what you get with some of the other quads in its similar price range. Now this is GPS, so therefore you are going to have that world-renowned lock as soon as you let the quad lie like I have here, and you come off the sticks, the quadcopter just locks in place like that, no movement whatsoever. So you do have that very, very secure lock, as well as you get good air braking. As well as you push forward, the quadcopter locks back and then readjusts itself and locks itself in place. As for speed modes, you get multiple speed modes. You get 360 flips, you get, no you don't, sorry, you get orbital, that's what I was looking at, the little orbit button. Which actually works pretty well. You can control the speed of orbit as well. As for all the other features like waypoints, they work very well as well. As well as, what was the other one that we did? Follow Me. Follow Me is the only one, other than on a quad that costs best part of £800 to £1,000, Follow Me is the only feature that has worked on some of these toy quadcopters, and Follow Me worked beautifully on this particular thing. So the features that worked on this were waypoints, Follow Me, orbit, so many, auto takeoff, auto landing, headless mode. They all work, which I was astounded at. For the price, I think I was given this by Banggood, but if you were to buy it, I think it sits with the 3 batteries that came with. For me, it sits around the £86 to £92 mark at the time of me recording this. So yeah, I'm very happy with it, as well. And also you get that gimbal, well not gimbal, the lens rather, is motorized. So you can alter it, you can change its orientation from your transmitter, which is again another brilliant move. You know, it gives you the idea that they put a bit of thought into this and thought, well, rather than just making the lens hand movable, let's have something that actually does mimic as best close as we can get it to the Mavic Air. And to be fair, what they've come up with is pretty good, I think. So all in all, as I said at the beginning of the video, if you haven't seen them, you'll find all the other videos for this in the description. I think this is a clear winner when it comes to the DJI Mavic Air clone drones. Okay, there are better drones out there, better quads out there, absolutely there are. But there aren't many quads out there that claim to be a Mavic Air clone that actually work as well as this. The one downside for a lot of people, but it's not a downside for me, is that it has brushed motors. That being said, this is probably the 10th flight I've done with this in the past few weeks, and it's working now for me as well now as it was as soon as I got it out of the box. Very, very nice, very, very easy to fly. A proper beginner's quad, this is. It comes in at 280 grams, which is over the 250 gram limit. That, for me, is the one thing that I think to myself, you know what? They should have put a bit more effort in there and stripped it down to about 240. It still would have made it a nice stable quad, but you would have had the ability then for people in areas where the 250 gram limit is low, that it would have given them a little bit more option for quads to fly. That being said, it's only 280, so it's not the end of the world, but it would have been nice to have it under 250. All right, friends, I tell you what, I'm going to call that there for today's revisit. I just find this thing so remarkably stable. Absolutely. There we are. Thanks ever so much for watching and listening, my friends. I've been JD, you've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and ring that bell too. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.